Call the Public Works and Engineering Services Committee meeting to order for June 24th. Having already given the invocation and pledge, we have a full quorum today with 3 members. Gentlemen, have you had the opportunity to review the minutes from the previous?
Yes, I move to accept.
Second.
Have any changes to today's agenda?
Order for your approval, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We'll move forward with it as is. Move directly into the debate agenda today, and we will begin with Mr. Schlachter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First item is Georgia Department of Transportation indemnification and hold harmless agreement. This is for our Pollard House renovation. Because our driveway does tie to a state route, we have to go through them for our permitting. This is part of the permit. We do have to sign off on this, so we're recommending authorizing the chairman to execute this document for that project.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next, we have Gordon. Cornett.
Good morning. Got my microphone on. Yes, the first item I have for you today is a independent contractor agreement with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood. As you remember, 4 years ago, we started we did a master plan about 4 years ago, and in that master plan, we pulled to save some money, we pulled the sewer model out of the master plan, and we completed a water model at the time. What we'd like to do now is to kind of take that sewer model on in bite-sized chunks and just do a little bit along, so by the time we do our next master plan, we have a completed water and sewer model. And this is kind of phase 1 in it. In this phase, we will do a complete sewer model for the city of Harlem, and then we'll do what's called a gaps analysis for the rest of the system, which gives us time and our staff time to go out and get the data needed. So Goodwin Mills and Kaywood will look at all the data that's needed in our system and analyze that, and we'll go out and get that data instead of having to hire that out and pay somebody. We think we can do that in-house to save some money, and so that's this project. We'll pay for it out of our engineering department, general operating fund, and it's $80,000, and staff recommends approval.
Dry weather model.
In order to get a true wet weather model to look at all your I&I coming into your sewer, you have to hire a company to go in and put in flow monitoring equipment in the sewers. That is a very, very expensive process to do our entire systems, probably close to $750,000. We think we can do that. We have what's called smart covers that we can measure the level in sewer. We think we can do a lot of that in-house, so they will do the dry weather model. We'll go put smart covers in, look at the percent increase in our sewers during rainy times, and come up with a good estimate instead of paying somebody a lot of money. We just don't see the value in spending that money to get really exact with it. We think we can get a good ballpark answer without spending that, so they'll start off with a dry weather model.
Consent.
Second.
Second.
So moved. Next.
All right, the second item is we bid on June 12th, we bid a water line cleaning project. This is phase 1 of that project to go ahead and install what's called pig launch and pig receiving stations. These will be permanent stations. We've designed it such that they're there forever now, so we can use them in the future. The project was a little bit over budget, but after consulting with the low bidder, talking with procurement, just the cost of materials was so high, we do feel like we got a fair bid on this project. The low responsive bidder is Blair Construction. This is a important project to improve our water quality and consumer confidence in our lines, so it'll eliminate the dirty water complaints or drastically reduce those.
I like the word eliminate.
Well, our goal is to eliminate, but we feel like we'll drastically reduce them. We may finish this and look, we need to add more and larger lines. This takes care of our major lines. We'll continue to do the ice pigging in the smaller lines, but this will greatly improve our water quality, and the low bid was for $4,021,444.78, and staff recommends approval.
Explain actually what it's going to do.
Yes.
What are they going to do?
This will be just to put in the receiving stations. So on the 30, 36, and 24-inch major lines leaving the Jim Blanchard water treatment plant, They will go in, dig down, cut the pipe, and put basically a Y in with an extended piece that launches. And so they'll put a vault around it so we can cover it back up and then take it off when we need to use it again. But so this Y is, I guess, it's just an inline pipe with an angle piece coming out. And then they'll bolt on their launch station. And so then they'll put this sponge pig inside the pipe and use pressure from our water system, from a fire hydrant, to push it through the system. And then it will go on to another Y somewhere out in the system where we're dumping all the stuff that's stuck to the sides of the pipe that we clean. So we'll have to capture that, do our soil and erosion control and mitigation measures there. But it just basically pushes a big sponge down the line to clean the pipelines.
Will the public see an effect from that when the work is happening?
It will. We will have to get on social media and let everyone know, because we may see some dirty water, because anytime you cut a water line, you disturb it. And so we'll have to be out doing a lot of flushing during that time. But, you know, it's necessary to get to the end goal.
Second.
$4 million sponge.
Yes, sir. Well, this is phase one. We still have to come back to put the sponges in. This is just to do the construction. So we'll come back with an RFP to do the rest of the work.
So moved. One more.
All right. The last item I have for you is a generator bid that bid on June 12th. This is the second time we've done this, and this is one of the rare occasions we rebid something and we come in with a better price. So we did save quite a bit of money by rebidding this, because the previous bidders were just non-compliant with the contract. So we rebid it. We saved some money. This gives us 3 generators. High-Tech Power Systems is the low bidder, and they had a bid of $101,101.47, and staff recommends approval.
Second.
So moved. Morning, Mr. Titus.
Morning. The first item we have for you is a resolution 25-06 to amend Jones Mill Phase 3 Streetlight District and a lighting service agreement with Georgia Power. This is to add 1 street light in Jones Mill Phase 3. Resident reached out, requested we study it. We reached out to Georgia Power. They did. Warranted. They provided a proposal. This is a larger than normal upfront cost. It's $7,620 because it includes 180 feet of underground boring. Additionally, this is the increase in the annual utility cost of $200.80. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved.
This next item is a lighting services agreement with Georgia Power to install safety lights at various intersections. These intersections include Old Evans Road at Murray Lane, Evans Locks at King Taylor, and also 4 crosswalks on Panther Crossing. Again, we received requests to study these locations. Georgia Power did so. They provided annual utility cost and the upfront cost as shown, paid for out of insurance premium tax fund. Staff recommends approval.
Consent.
Second.
So moved.
This next item is another lighting services agreement with Georgia Power. This is phase 2 of a street light upgrade that Georgia Power is trying to accomplish in 4 phases. The first phase was done in July of last year. This is converting several neighborhoods from HID lighting to LED lighting. There is a larger cost associated with the LED lighting. The upfront cost that goes to the annual utility amount is increased. All the neighborhoods that are being upgraded in this phase, it's a total increase of $3,397.61 per month. Staff recommends approval.
A while since we've talked about this. They install them, but the monthly fees go
Sir.
on.
Second.
So moved. Next.
This is our 2025 annual renewal of our Title VI plan for federal assistance for transportation programs and activities. In order to receive federal funding, since we're over 100,000 in population, we have to have our own Title VI plan. Our current plan was, our first plan was adopted in March of 2015. There are no major revisions to this plan other than dating changes. Staff recommends approval. This will allow us to continue federal funds for projects like Hereford Farm Road and Wrightsboro Road widening.
Second.
So moved.
This next item is an amendment with Infrastructure Consulting Engineering for Construction Engineering and Inspection Services, CEI. We first hired ICE as a consultant in 2021. Every 2 years, we renew their contract. We've expanded their contract over the course of the 4 years we've been working with them. This is a function of last year we expanded their contract even more to be able to perform CEI services on all roadway projects as a function of each project's funding code. So they're paid by that project's funding code. Last year when we renewed their contract or expanded their contract, we didn't update the rates. We're asking to update the rates this year as shown. Again, reimbursement or the paying for these inspectors will be paid out of each project's respective funding code. Staff recommends approval.
Annual cost for this?
Annual total cost, I'd have to check that. I'm not sure right off.
But they're charged off to each project, right?
That's correct. And the challenge, the deputy county manager, Mr. Schlocker, and I have talked about this a lot. The challenge that we have are our road construction projects. The need for inspectors ebbs and flows so much. We have a good staff now, but in order to bring on a bunch of staff today to meet our demand today may not equate to what we need tomorrow. Oftentimes it's going to come down, back up. So this is a way to bring on resources as needed and send them home as needed, so that we don't have to bring on additional staff or, not to say in perpetuity, but permanent staff that we have to lay off or not keep busy. Supplement our staff.
Funding for these projects is going to be TIA or House Bill 170, so it's not actually county funding paying for these folks, state funding.
Follow up with us. I'd like to know how much we spent.
Sure.
Don't get upset. Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
This next item is a contract with Thompson Building and Wrecking for the property abatement, demolition, and removal services for 4 properties on Hereford Farm Road. Total contract amount is $88,600 to be funded out of House Bill 170, part of the Hereford Farm Road widening project. Staff recommends approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
This next item is a contract with Cranston to develop landscaping guidelines for county roadway medians and shoulders. So we receive multiple requests per year from residents or HOAs to landscape their median or their shoulders going into their neighborhood. And we asked them to present us with the plan, and we work it through planning and county leadership and engineering to make sure the plan meets our requirements, but it's somewhat haphazard, from one plan to the next. In addition, the county has a lot of gateway projects that have a landscaping component, so we would like to have some uniformity to that. So we'd like to hire Cranston to develop some guidelines, pallet options, like from these 4 trees and these 10 shrubs and these annual flowers, whatever, to build some uniformity in what we do, but also to kind of give us some identity from a landscaping gateway standpoint. The total contract amount for this would be $11,900, and we would work with all the respective departments, so engineering, planning, of course, county leadership, and then once we had a final guideline for landscaping that we had some consensus built around, we would bring it back to the board for adoption.
Could adopt it as an ordinance?
As a guideline, basically a procedure, so the county, whenever an HOA reached out to us, we would say, your landscaping plan for your median in our right-of-way for your neighborhood needs to meet these guidelines.
It won't be an ordinance.
Policy, kind of like the street hump policy project's access improvement policy, but we'd bring that back to you all for policy in place.
Hopefully, we can use that to get some landscaping at exit 183.
Don't know that
Well,
our
sad.
policy would be forced on the state, but we could absolutely take it from the state and do it ourselves.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
This next item is for a contract with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood for stream and wetland mitigation preliminary site assessment services. As you all know, we have several projects that have significant environmental impacts, and with those are often very significant mitigation fees that we have to go purchase mitigation credits, whether stream or wetland impact credits. This is to ask GMC they've already identified 3 areas in the county that they think have potential for us to basically build a mitigation bank or banks. This is to take it the next step and do a more formal desktop review of that to see how feasible each one of these options are and what they could potentially provide from a mitigation standpoint. So how many credits we could get out of this bank, or how many credits out of that bank, and save X amount of dollars effectively for each bank. So as you can see on the Furious Ferry widening project, the Martinez Park project, and the Harding McManus Road widening project, in addition to several that water utility has had, we've paid millions mitigation credits over the years. And that's going to continue, in addition to the challenge of actually finding available credits is very difficult these days. So it can stall a project and can cost a lot of money. So if we have those mitigation banks in the county that we own, we have more control over, then we're going to be able to save a lot of money in the long run and to continue facilitating projects on schedule. The total cost for this desktop review, again, preliminary, would be $14,250. We've worked with water utility and county leadership, and we're proposing to split that $14,250 between stormwater utility and water utility. Staff recommends approval.
That just seems smart. Right.
Move to consent.
Second.
Moved.
This next item is an acceptance of easements for Greenpoint PCD LLC. This is for a water utility easement off of Appling Harlem Road, several parcels. Been through all the departments for review and approval. Staff recommends acceptance contingent on staff's final approval.
Move to consent.
Second.
So moved. Next.
Similarly, this is an acceptance of easements for Waffle House Incorporated off of Columbia Road. It is a 20-foot wide sanitary sewer easement. Staff recommends approval. Staff's final approval.
Move to consent, smothered and covered. Is that how it works?
And top.
Scattered and plattered.
Second.
So moved. Last one.
This last item is an agreement with the National Resources Conservation Service, NRCS, for the Emergency Watershed Protection Program agreement. So shortly after Hurricane Helene, GEMA provided some documentation, some information to county staff on the Emergency Watershed Protection Program. Basically, it's a grant that funds the removal of storm-generated debris or threats to infrastructure, funds the removal of that so to prevent flooding or adverse impacts from storm-generated debris. I believe from the time we found out about it to the time we submitted an application with over 50 locations, it was about 2.5 weeks we submitted that application, and NRCS came down. We met with them once on site to kind of understand, make sure we knew what they were looking for. We had a few iterations with the application, and within a month we had approval at the local level through NRCS. They had to go through the USDA, which is the department they're based out of, for final approval. We have since gotten that final approval. The total amount that we are approved for in construction or removal of debris is $31,653,911 in construction, and then $2,374,043.33 in technical assistance. The technical assistance piece is for engineering plans, administration, inspections, monitoring, oversight, so reimbursing the county for our time. We're told that NRCS already has the funding, it's already been allocated, it's sitting in the bank, in their bank, and it takes about 30 days from the time we submit reimbursement to get the payment back. So we will have 120 days from the time this agreement's executed to complete the work. We've already spoken with NRCS, and we've been granted additional 90 days, I believe, because of some delays in actually getting us the approval. So we're excited to get started on these waterways. We've had a lot of folks reach out to us about down trees in the creeks behind their homes. So again, we're excited about it. Staff recommends approval. Questions?
Funding is 30 days. They have the money. Then you have to have, I'll make sure I'm clear. You have to have the work done within X amount of time,
120 days.
120 days. And you ask for 90 more.
They've given us 90 more. So we're looking at Christmas time. And we've already spoken with our current contractor series, who's under contract with us for this type of work, and they hope to be done by fall. So fully achievable.
Has nothing to do with the other funding that we're still.
Not FEMA. The FEMA's granted NRCS total oversight of this grant. The FEMA's not involved at all. They've over to NRCS also. We've met with procurement, we've met with finance, we've met with Sean and EMA, certainly county leadership, and I think everyone is on board and ready to get going.
Good news that it's only a 30-day, considering we're still waiting quite a bit from.
Good thing about this one is the money has already left the federal hands and is deposited with this group already. They've already received the funding, so now it's just time for us to go to work and
Right.
let them.
Reimburse.
That's right.
Move to consent.
Second.
So
Work.
moved. Thank you. Have any legal matters today? Staff reports.
Yes, I've included the year-to-date budget report and the water and sewer construction project reports. Prepared to answer any questions you may have.
Titus?
Yes, ma'am. We have the roadway projects report and the roadway resurfacing report for your review. Questions?
Ferry Road's still ready to be finished.
Furious Ferry Road was originally scheduled to be completed this year. With weather delays, we're still looking at spring, summer of next year. Going well. They just made the shift right there at Southern Pines. Progress.
I don't have it.
Do you have any commissioner or public comment? Seeing none, we will adjourn at 9:04 a.m.